All Blacks 15 in the Irish A squad, folks. 47 points to 19. That's a bit of a hiding. We'll go through some key events and stats, and you guys can let us know your thoughts. But yeah, man, for a game with no real pressure on it, you can kind of watch this one relaxed, but still, it's a good depth tester for both the sides. And in this case, it's the All Blacks 15 who come out on top. By the way, if you want British and Irish Lions gear, they're having a sale on. They got winter gear for you guys up north. Check out the link in the description to the British and Irish Lions store. 70% off some of the gear, which is always a pretty good one. A bit of a scrappy start for two new teams, which have kind of only just really been put together in fairly recent time. But yeah, I guess the All Blacks 15, at least they were able to spend a fair bit of time down the Irish half. McCarthy goes off early for the Irish guys, which is unfortunate. He only got 10 minutes into the game. And then the first time the All Blacks guys go through 10 phases, they're able to get a try. Not really going forward that much, but D-Mac with a cross kick to Sean Stevenson. He's up against the halfback, Craig Casey. So, yeah, he's going to score all day long. Sure enough, 7 points to 0. And Ireland, man, their line-out certainly costs them. First time they're looking to be able to get out of their own half. They lose their own line-out, so back to being on defence. TJ Perenara milks a penalty from Prendergast, then into another penalty. New Zealand maul it, and McAllister goes over, so it's kind of bang-bang within 20 minutes, 14-0. And then Ireland on 24 minutes, actually down New Zealand's end for maybe the first time. Guess what happens? They lose the bloody line-out again, and not only that, but they end up under their own sticks. D-Mac with the counter-attack in play, up the field. I mean, multiple guys get hands on it. RTS gets his hands on it. Paddy Tuipulotu gets his hand on it, back to D-Mac, and then Sean Stevenson ends up finishing it. So, misconversion, but 19-0 after like 25 minutes is about as good a start as you could have asked for. Although I did write a note, like New Zealand need to be careful just with their defence, man. Like, they're putting a lot of pressure on the Irish, but just flying up. So many big collisions. Some of them were a bit risky. I mean, TJ Copp's penalty for a shot on Mike Lowry, but then like Frawley misses touch from that one anyway to keep the Irish guys under pressure. But then a few minutes later, Jacobson gets yellow carded for a clear out, no arms basically late at the side. So 15 on 14 is the best chance of the first half for the Irish guys to actually get themselves into the game. It takes them a wee while, but they actually camped down the All Blacks in for a wee while. They kept losing the ball, but eventually when they held onto the ball, a couple of nice offloads in the tackle. Frawley is able to go over for the first points of the Irish guys. So, 19 points to 7 at half time. That's 7 points during the yellow card. If Ireland can score first in the second half, it's looking like it could be game on. Possession's been 50-50, but the All Blacks guys have had the territory. They've had 4 clean breaks to 1, so they have been the sharper of the two sides, but it's 8 penalties conceded to 3, so the discipline for the All Blacks 15 is certainly an issue. Is it Ireland who scored first in the second half? No, it's not. It's like literally 30 seconds into the second half, and Ruben Love is able to go over. I think basically Ireland were expecting New Zealand to clear from their own 22 with the boot, but they run it out. Sean Stevenson is electric. He gets the big line break, gets it to TJ Perenara. He's not got the gas, but he gets it to Ruben Love, is able to go over. So 26 points to 7. It's looking pretty comfortable once again. New Zealand's still conceding a bit too many penalties, but their maul defence is good, really able to shut the Irish guys down in that area of the game. Eventually the Irish guys had to just go for a tap and go away because the maul just wasn't getting the pay, and then New Zealand were able to get turnovers, so able to get those exits. They did manage to get a couple of more tries in a row, the All Blacks guys. One of them ends up finishing with Enor on 53 minutes. That one was D-Mac putting Gardner into a big gap. I think it was Lamb with the final pass as well. Pretty brutal stuff because, yeah, it's like defence, and then bang, down the other end score. It's, I guess, that kind of clinical nature of how All Blacks teams can play. Ireland tap and go in New Zealand's half again. But that being said, they did manage to get a try through Marty Moore, which was kind of pleasing, I guess, because I did feel like the All Blacks 15 were giving away a few too many penalties in the red zone. Like a yellow card's got to be coming, or a try. And maybe it's one of those ones where you fortunately concede the try, and then that kind of relieves the pressure. The ref doesn't feel the need to go for a card, because I think one more penalty, surely there would have been a card coming. But good on Marty Moore, back in green to go over for a try. So 33-12, still looking pretty comfortable. And Ireland have to chase the game. They're chucking the ball around. RTS gets an intercept in Ireland's 22. That leads to some phases, leads to Lamb's try, so 40-12. D-Mac gets one to cap off a pretty good day at the office for him. Again, turnover ball. All Blacks hit him on a break. And, you won there to D-Mac. Pretty nice stuff. So 47 points to 12. Some pretty nice tries. If you haven't seen the highlights, well worth going to watch. Credit to the Irish guys, though. They did finish things off with a bit of a wonder try of their own. Kind of bad clearance from the All Blacks guys. Caelan Blade gets it to Nash. Nash with the wicked offload, and it ended up with Deegan finishing it off. So 47 points to 19. They get the final try. So if it was back like school days where the last try wins, it'd be an Irish one. But I guess that's at least credit to them for keeping fighting when they were pretty much dead and buried. So 47-19 is the final score. Ireland end up with more possession. Territories even. Run meters, though, 725 to 423 in favour of the All Blacks guys. Turnovers conceded 19 to 10. The Irish guys coughed up way too much pill. Discipline, though, 13-3. I don't think the Irish guys conceded a penalty in that second half. So All Blacks defence sometimes leading to a few too many penalties. As I said, some big collisions. Like Tupulotu was lucky to get away with one on Crowley. I don't think there was head-on-head. The commentators thought there was. It looked like kind of shoulder-to-shoulder and then that whiplash effect, and Ruben Love on Lowry as well. So certainly some big collisions. You take the risk when you go with those. Individuals, Nash 94 metres from 11 carries. He had a pretty busy outing. Sean Stevenson, though, star of the show, 110 metres, 2 clean breaks, 6 defenders beaten. The guy is absolutely electric. So Ross, the prop, 17 tackles from him. Timony, 18 tackles from him. Some good shifts. Ultimately, though, not the closest game you will ever see. But yeah, this is just a bit of the appetizer with the amount of games that are on this weekend. Good test of depth for both sides. Pleasing from an All Blacks point of view. Like, that's my coach, the Leon McDonald, the coach of the All Blacks 15. He's the coach of my Super Rugby team, the Blues. So pleased for him to get his team to chuck the ball around a bit and show some electric attacking rugby. But anyway, you guys let us know your thoughts. And I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.